Welcome everyone to day 41. Yesterday, I'll admit I was a little bit tired while studying Alembic, but I thought it wise that we get into Alembic again today. And so let's study more about it. And yeah, so let's start. Yesterday we ended somewhere, I think right here, okay? We had just finished reading about this tool here. What's it called? This generic, okay? When we had begun reading about editing the ini file, and I think we can carry on from that. They're saying editing the ini file. They're saying Alembic placed a file alembic.ini into the current directory. Okay, this is the first statement. We go on, says Alembic looks in the current directory for this file when any other commands are run to indicate an alternative location. The config option may be used or Alembic config environment variable may be set. Tip: the file generated with the generic configuration template contains all directives for both source code configuration as well as database configuration. When using the PyProject template, the source code configuration elements will instead be in a separate PyProject.toml file described in the section PyProject.toml for configuration. Okay, so this is something that you can look at. Okay, let's go on. This is the all-in-one file created by generic is illustrated below. Okay, so I guess I have to open the project alembic.ini. Okay, so this is it. Says a generic single database configuration. You see, Alembic says path to migration scripts. I really believe there's nothing really hard about this. Okay, let me not get ahead of myself. Let's continue. Okay, so this is the file. I can see the end ends with something saying formatter generic. If I go to the end, I see formatter generic. Okay, yeah, same thing. So if you're just watching this for the first time, this is the 41st day of me trying to build a flight booking engine by learning FastAPI live on the internet and now building a project. And this is my first project I am building using FastAPI. And in the previous stream and today, I am trying to learn how to create migrations. I come from a Django background where there is actually a tool that is used for creating migrations. And it's inbuilt within Django. This is the first time I'm encountering a situation where I need a third party. Okay. And yeah, so Alembic is a tool that is used for creating migrations. And I used it in the project, but it was something that AI helped me to do because I was doing changes to my models, but I wasn't understanding all the Alembic files that were created. But now from yesterday and today, now I have a clearer and better understanding. So let's move on. Okay, so I just want to achieve more success today and see how far we can go with this before going on to other features in the project. Because going forward, actually, I'll keep making changes to the models and I'll need to make migrations, but I need to understand what is going on. Even when I use AI to generate for me, to run the commands and do things for me, still I need to understand what is going on, so that in case of anything, I can know how to debug. So let's continue. It says the alembic.ini file is consumed by Alembic using Python's config.config parser library. Okay, so it is consumed by the config parser library. Says the $here's variable is provided with a substitution. Is provided as, not with, is provided as a substitution which is populated with the absolute path to the alembic.ini file itself. Okay, so what is this here's stuff they're talking about here? Oh, this is it. Okay, it is replaced with where the alembic.ini is. Okay. So yeah, simply the absolute path to the alembic.ini, and it's a variable. Now they're saying this can be used to produce correct path names to directories and files relative to where the config is located. This makes sense. Okay. Those of you who come from, if you know Django, it's like how Django builds up base da, but base underscore da in the settings.py. All right. Cool. Now we move on to the next tip. They're saying, what is this? I want to highlight all this part. It says percent signs in Alembic dot ini. I don't know how you pronounce this, whether it is ini or ini, but this says percent signs in Alembic.ini configuration variables that are not part of an interpolation token like here's, okay, which is this one here. I'm calling it here's, but I'm sure that could not be the right way to do it, to pronounce it. They're saying including percent signs that are part of the SQL Alchemy database URL for its own URL escaping requirements must be escaped. See the section escaping characters in ini files for more information. Okay. All right, let's continue. So they're saying, they're now trying to explain, I think, the contents of that file. They're saying the file contains the following features. Okay. The first one is Alembic, which is this one here. Says this is the section read by Alembic to determine configuration. Okay. They're saying Alembic's core implementation does not directly read any other areas of the file, not including additional directives that may be consumed from the end user customizable env.py file. See note below. The name Alembic for config parser, config only, not by project, can be customized using the -- name command line flag. Okay. Then they're saying see multiple Alembic environments from one.ini file for a basic example. So yesterday we learned that we can have actually more than one environment being managed, okay, by Alembic. And because it is being managed by Alembic, they call it a, what's the name? An Alembic environment, okay? Excuse me. All right, so there's a note here saying the default env file included with Alembic's configuration. What's happening to me? There's no word called configuration, but I'm saying configuration. All right, let me restart this. I'm saying the default, it says rather, not I'm saying, but it says the default env.py file included with Alembic's environment templates will also read from the logging sections, logging handlers, etc. If the configuration file in use does not contain logging directives, please remove the file config directive within the generated env.py file to prevent it from attempting to configure logging. So if I go back to here, okay, and see where is this logging. Onto the search, Control F. I don't see it. Okay. Anyway, let me continue. So we have the Alembic, which is used to determine configuration. We have the script location. They're saying this is the location of the Alembic environment. It is normally specified as a file system location relative to the %here's token which indicates where the config file itself is located. The location may also be a plain relative path where it's interpreted as relative to the current directory or an absolute path. So script location, I want to search for it. Script. Can't seem to find. Okay, we have this. Okay, so it's the location of the Alembic environment. So this is it. Okay. Let's continue. Where was I? The thing this is the only key required by Alembic in all classes. The generation of the .ini file by the command alembic init alembic automatically place the directory name alembic here. The special variable here's can also be used as in here's / alembic. Okay. Then the next paragraph says, for support of applications that package themselves into .egg files, the value can also be specified as a package resource, in which case resource underscore file name is used to find the file. They're saying new in version 0.222. Any non-absolute URI which contains colons is interpreted here as a resource name rather than a straight file name. Okay. We have file template which says this is the naming scheme used to generate new configuration files, and comment the presented value if you'd like the migration files to be prepended with date and time so that they are listed in chronological order. The default value is this. Okay, saying tokens available include this one. Revs is for the revision ID. Slugs, okay, a truncated string derived from the revision message. Epochs, I think an epoch timestamp based on the create date. This makes the use of Python datetime.timestamp method to produce an epoch or epoch value. I don't know how you pronounce that, whether epoch or epoch. Then they have this, the year, the month, to 2 decimal places the day, to 2 decimal places the hour, to 2 decimal places the minute. Okay, second, the same components of the create date. By default, datetime.now, unless the time zone computation option is also used. What is interesting that I had to admit that I'm actually feeling already tired after a long Saturday. I'm trying to think maybe I end here and then create another one. Okay. I don't mind how long it will take me to understand or build this project. What matters to me is that I understand what is going on. Okay. I'm not going to rush into anything. Yeah. I don't know what time it is on your end. Okay. When you do such things, but yes, it's 10 p.m. Not that late, about 13 minutes past 10 p.m. But the challenge is that I've had a pretty long day. But sometimes I prefer to even if I studied for 5 minutes, okay, it will build on my consistency. Okay. I won't complain about it. And I advise you to do the same thing. Okay. Do not fear to take only even about 10 minutes a day to do something consistently. Okay. And it's also something I love to do. Okay. So yeah, I want to end here for now. Then I'll decide whether we can continue with the video reading through all this, or everybody practices it on its own and I go to implementing another feature. We'll see about that. But I think let's focus on finishing this. Okay. So tomorrow I will start a little bit early. Probably I may start 2 hours early. Okay. Tomorrow evening, yeah, watch out for the announcement. I'll start my stream 2 hours early so that we can go through this and finish it. Okay. I think if I start a stream 2 hours early, that would mean we have almost 3 to 4 hours, okay, of working with this. So tomorrow I want to try to come back when I'm fresh, okay, and do it earlier, okay, when the mind is not as tired as I am right now, so that we go through all this together and learn it, okay. So yeah, let's continue being consistent. Even if today is short, what matters is that we have moved a step, okay. We now understand what this Alembic is all about. We understand the script location, okay. We understand the file template. And next time we shall continue until we finish this page, which should give us a solid understanding of Alembic. And now we can prompt AI, debug, and do anything we want with Alembic. Even come back to the documentation from time to time. But it gives a good understanding. So if you got something good today and you're enjoying this series, please share it with people in your network so that they can benefit from this. Catch you soon. Talk to you soon in the next live stream. And again, I'll begin 2 hours earlier. Bye for now.